Hello, it's me, Ethan. I'm back again with another, hopefully slightly better devlog this time. Before we really get started, I'm going to point out that the reason it took so dang long to make this one is because basically I want to make sure there's enough content to really go over in a full devlog because, the last one was like 3 minutes long. And unfortunately, at least right now anyways, I don't think I'm going to be able to get these devlogs to the 10-minute mark, but hopefully there's at least enough content here to satisfy you. Now, where do we begin? So the first thing that was worked on during this stretch of time was blending colors. You could add colors originally, but they just had nice hard outlines, right? And since we're using vertex color, to fix this, you have to add more geometry between hexagons to use as little blending areas. I think this effect turned out quite nicely, and in the configuration files I can actually change how big the blending area is, which will also apply to elevation. But before we get into that, let's talk about noise. So I actually have no idea how to create a noise texture, and I imagine it's not that hard, but I just kind of made do with Photoshop. So this is what it actually looks like, which doesn't really seem like that bad of a noise texture, but then whenever I actually apply it to the game, it looks like this, compared to the tutorial I'm following, which looks like this. I don't really want to use the noise texture provided by the tutorial because that kind of feels like cheating. So if anybody knows how the heck you actually make a noise texture, please tell me. Or just send me one. I really don't care. I really need a noise texture. That aside, noise isn't actually that hard to code. It just displaces the vertices of the hexagon by an amount based on the noise texture. This did cause a little bit of problem with elevation, which I promise I'm going to talk about, but that was easily fixed by scaling the noise texture around. I also discovered what a Stack Overflow exception was. I know, right? It's crazy. I just thought it was that website where people copy code from. But no, I figured out what a Stack Overflow exception was because I accidentally set color to return color. I know that doesn't make any sense, but the screenshot should explain it. And this basically instantly crashed Unity, and I'm surprised it didn't crash it a second time, but thankfully it didn't, and I was able to find the problem pretty easily. But yeah, that was just one capital letter, so I don't know what that says about the fate of this project, but, well, let's just talk about the elevation. Now, unfortunately, the elevation part is the part that I forgot to record, so now you just get to look at me with a beak. So remember earlier whenever I talked about the little sections that we made to blend colors? Well, those are super useful for elevation too, because they provide a way to link the outside of the hexagon with the inside. So if we move the inside of the hexagon up a unit and just connect the vertices, all of a sudden we have a slope. Now you might notice some of the slopes are terraced. Terraces are very hard. I'm not going to go into detail on how to make those, not only because I don't completely understand it, but also because it's probably beyond the scope of a 3-minute YouTube video. But if you would like to learn more, I will link the tutorial I'm following. I'll link the tutorial that I'm following in the description as always. Now, before you go, I just want to point out that I'm going to start making YouTube Shorts, so if you want even more tiny little devlogs, then check there, because I realized that instead of making a 3-minute video every 2 weeks, I could make a 30-second video every couple of days. How does that sound? Anyways, go check them out. Go